2024. In front of you, please welcome the beginning orchestra. We're so proud of all their hard work and excited to share tonight's concert with you. What you're going to hear is a bunch of the songs they've been working on since the beginning. You'll watch as they master just the first 3 notes, all the way up to the D major scale. We'll work with slurs, we'll work with 8 notes, we'll put it all together, and you'll see everything they've learned so far this semester. But I can tell you, it's a fantastic group of young people that work hard every day, and I'm so proud of what they've done. Now this first song needs no introduction. Originally written by Mozart, made famous by Lady Gaga, and most recently performed by Taylor Swift at Levi Stadium. Instruments up. This is Hot Cross Buns. This next selection is Merrily We Roll Along, and it features a string crossing and a lift. This is Merrily We Roll Along. This applause has already been fantastic. It's so nice to celebrate our kids and be proud of them. Can we try one more time? Let me hear a round of applause for Merrily. That's the good stuff. Thank you so much for that. This next selection features a bow stroke called legato. They have to soften the knuckles and make smoother bow changes, and they also have to go from frog to tip, as well as adding a new note. This is Lament. Our next selection features a new technique. You've noticed the students move their bow back and forth, one bow stroke for every note. So their left hand and right hand have been moving together in different directions on different planes, but moving together. In this next piece, we feature a 2-note slur. Now the right hand has to move at a different speed and organize the rhythms on the page differently than their left hand. One of the great things about strings and music education is pushing the brain and creating moments of neuroplasticity where they're using the left and right hemisphere in new ways. This is Waterfall. audience perspective is how their bows are moving together in the same direction, lifting at the same time. It takes a lot of coordination and awareness of everyone around them. They're reading the notes on the page, they're making sure their left hand goes in the right place, they're making sure there's the right bow weight and speed. They're managing a lot of different variables, and in addition, they have to manage that they are one person in a large group, being aware with all the folks around them. They're doing such a nice job of being aware of one another, and when you hear the chamber orchestra later, it blossoms into that. They learn to be more and more complex with their rhythms and their bowings, and this next piece features a combination of both slurs and ties. This is Long, Long Ago. Musicians is they have to learn to translate what's on the page. This is a new language for them, and it's managed by a few different factors. One is called a time signature, and everything they've done so far is what's called 4/4 time, where we have the quarter note getting one beat, and there's 4 of them per measure and some combination of. This is a new time signature, and for string players it's specifically challenging because the up bow changes on the strong beat, and the up bow tends to be a weaker area of our bow technique. So they have to manage a new coordinating factor with 3/4 time. Also, they're now going to be doing 3 note slurs, so you'll see their bow moving for quite a long time as their left hand is managing 3 different notes in that one bow. This is French folk song. As they start to manage slurs and doing different combinations with their right and left hand, they have to learn more of the fingerboard. As you've noticed, probably when they're practicing at home, the instruments do have stripes or tape on the fingerboard, but there are no buttons, there are no keys. And for some of the instruments, the fingerboard is over 3 feet long, and there's notes everywhere on it. This next selection, the violins and violas will start adding their pinky. They're going to be adding a new note and a new technique. This is a really important skill, because they can't reach with their pinky if their left hand posture isn't excellent. The elbow has to be under the instrument, the wrist has to be round, the thumb has to be relaxed, and they have to curve all the way over to that pinky. So this demonstrates a really big change and success in their posture. The cellists can't play this note unless they do a technique called shifting. They have to move from one position to the other. So now they're traveling up and down the fingerboard, as well as finding notes, as well as managing slurs. Still falling down after all these years. This next selection is London Bridge. louder, and then the music got softer. The forte dynamic means to use more bow speed, more arm weight. The piano dynamic is less arm weight, less bow speed, and often a different contact point. They're really starting to think three-dimensionally every time they create a song. In Lightly Row, you'll get fourth finger A's, you'll get shifting, you'll get slurs, you'll get lifts, and you'll get dynamics of forte and piano. This is Lightly Row. We're nearing the end of the curriculum that brings us to this point in the semester. There's a lot more to learn. We're in a book that has roughly 37 pages. We're working our way through page 26 and page 27 as we practice in our orchestra room. And then that's just part of what we do for this year. The students last week received a packet called Super Stringer, and in Super Stringer, it starts to teach them how to play multiple parts. When you hear the chamber orchestra in a few moments here, you'll hear 5 parts happening at the same time, which is much more complex. What we're doing here is called unison playing, where we all play the same notes and the same rhythms at the same time. Part of the transition from first semester to second semester is learning how to play multiple parts at the same time and being very steady and conscientious with your part and seeing how it fits in the puzzle. Then, by the time we get to our March concert, these beginners will actually be a new name of an orchestra. They're going to be called Ionian. And we'll invite the Simons Orchestra up, and they'll be the big brothers and sisters to support them in their concert. And we'll go from me playing on the piano to me as a conductor. And they'll have transformed into our youngest, but ready to take over orchestra as all these 8th graders graduate, and the 6th, 7th graders take over these positions in the Indigo, Avant, and Chamber Orchestras. We've had such a great year already, and it's really exciting to see the progress in only really 2.5 months of playing. This next selection features a new rhythm. They're called 8 notes. Now they have to feel a pulse and divide that pulse in half. So they're managing string crossings, they're managing note reading, they're managing lifts, they're managing dynamics, and they're managing a new rhythm, which also comes with a new technique. They're no longer just moving the bow at a single speed, they have to divide the bow in smaller fractions to manage the speed at which the 8 notes are played. This is Ba Ba Black Sheep. Very clever. They know that's a familiar melody, so when they're teaching new rhythms, it can be helpful to learn things by ear. What we're hoping to do is do a combination of ear training as well as language acquisition. So in German folk song, a less familiar melody, we have the entire D major scale, as well as dynamics, as well as a new feature, which is the first and second ending, something that was created back in the 1600s to help manage manuscript. They're going to have fast string crossings, fast 8 notes. This is German folk song. last selection before we go over to the world of the chamber orchestra is called Wolly, Wolly, Doodle. This is one of their longest pieces, featuring 3 lines of notation, and it features everything that we've learned so far in this semester. They also have to deal with some new notes, new 4th fingers, and as you've probably been noticing, the basses have now been shifting for about a month, finding all sorts of new notes on their fingerboard. This is Wolly, Wolly, Doodle.